Hey, Phil Long family. This is Dr. Scott Uhalt coming at you with another virtual coffee chat this Tuesday, December 1st. And I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for getting on. I think we've got some great information today, and we're going to start a brand new series today. We're going to talk about 5 weeks and the acronym R.I.G.H.T and emotional wellness. And I'll share with you what R.I.G.H.T is here in just a minute. But lots of things going on emotionally, in the holiday season, and we're going to talk about that because we want everyone's emotional wellness to be sky high, even if there's difficult times going on. And believe it or not, there's a definition of emotional wellness. You can see it there on the left. People that are emotionally well, they have a positive attitude. They've got the strong self-esteem, a sense of self, the ability to recognize and share feelings in a positive and an effective manner. So this is all part of kind of just a potpourri of things that we've put together in our 5-week series during the holiday seasons in December, and I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you. So today we're going to talk about the acronym R.I.G.H.T. I'm going to, or at least introduce it to you, and really R.I.G.H.T, it stands for resiliency, and it stands for interpersonal relationships, benefits of the concept of called gratitude, healthy perspective, and then the last one is therapeutic activities that we can do for our own health and well-being. So we got a lot going on. Even though during difficult times, we want to make sure that you're emotionally strong. And today we're going to start out talking about resiliency. And we hear that term quite a bit, but let me ask you all, what does resiliency mean to you? If you want to put that definition or that definition down in the chat box, we'll take a look at what everyone thinks that is here at the end of the program. But again, let's get ready for our quarter hour of wellness power. And I want to say thank you, as always, to Kangaroo Coffee for being our sponsor in the virtual coffee chats. So we always have our disclaimer. Please get your annual physical if you haven't gotten that done yet. Get your blood work done so your physicians or clinicians can make sure that you're healthy and well. And blood work very commonly can identify issues that are going on long before any kind of symptoms manifest themselves. So if you're on our healthcare plan, you can get that done through our Sinton Road Care Here Clinic. You can get that done at the Littleton Clinic. And like I said, there's no charge whatsoever. It's preventive care. So even if you're not on our healthcare plan, get your annual physical done and there's no charge to you. Now, let's get after today's conversation, getting right with wellness, the concept of resilience. And I went out and found a couple of definitions of resiliency. And Oxford Press, if you've ever had one of those dictionaries back when we were in elementary school, they're the ones that do this one. And resiliency is an ability to handle the difficulties and complexities of life in a healthful manner. The Merriam-Webster dictionary calls resilience a learned trait to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Harvard Health calls it a skill where the ability to recover quickly and effectively from difficult times abounds. The Mayo Clinic calls it emotional toughness. And then the American Psychological Association probably has the most definitive element of what it is. And it's the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, or significant sources of stress. So you can see lots of definitions out there, but the one thing that they all kind of have in common is they all talk about the stress response and how you adapt or deal with stress in an effective manner. And what I want to share with you today is that resilient people are very effective at turning distressful or harmful situations into eustressful or beneficial situations. And let me mention right away that resiliency it's not an innate trait. It's not something that you're born with. Resiliency is something that you've got to work on. It's a skill that you actually have to develop. So let's kind of talk about that, about the concept of, again, resiliency, and let's start out with the stress response, because that's really where it all starts. And we had talked about this in a virtual coffee chat prior, and I would encourage you, please go to our Facebook page if you have an interest in any of these things, because we have talked about them before. Lisa Camarillo was one of our guest speakers when we were talking about managing stress. Great little presentation on stretching at your desk. But with that, stress response, stressors, there's things out there, we're just going to call them stressors. They can be environmental, they can be emotional, they can be behavioral, but all in all, they trigger our body physiologically to adapt to whatever's causing this stress. In distressful times or in harmful times, the fight or flight syndrome releases cortisol, adrenaline, epinephrine, and other stress-related hormones that over time, if they're not dealt with effectively, they can lead to these chronic diseases that we talked about a few coffee chats ago, the diabetes, the heart disease, obesity, cancer, all these diseases that take a long time to develop. Now, in short stints, the fight or flight response is actually beneficial. But, excuse me, one other thing I want to mention is that negative self-talk, when you talk down upon yourself or you didn't maybe complete a goal or you meet a deadline and you start beating yourself up, try very hard not to do that, because that, although you're doing it to yourself, also causes the stress response. And when the stress response is elevated, especially over a long period of time, again, it causes this inflammation that we talked about in past coffee chats, where your insides are irritated, but yet they can't release stress. They just continue to be irritated, and that leads to atherosclerosis that Dr. David Greenberg talked about. So lots going on here, but again, we have to practice resiliency. And when you practice it well, you can actually turn the distress into eustress, like I said. And when that happens, the stress hormones that are released during the fight or flight response are significantly lower in our bloodstream and cause significantly less long-term chronic malfeasance. That's kind of that's a big word, but abuse, if you will, over time. Now, how do you become more resilient? How does that occur? Well, let me share with you that resilient people have many identifiable characteristics, and one of them is that they're very adaptable to ideas. They're not rigid or really narrow-minded in their behaviors. They're willing to look at things from a different perspective. They're calm and introspective in their thoughts. They don't get mad or angry immediately. It takes a lot to get them fired up. They care, and they're deeply empathetic to the situation at hand. They can relate to what's going on and really understand the situation and feel what's going on with that other individual. They're thoughtful, they're pragmatic, they actually think things through before they offer a solution, and really try to get the big picture of what's going on with the situation at hand. Very commonly, they're at peace with themselves. They're comfortable with their emotions. Their values are in line with their lifestyle choices. And they're very adept. We've talked about practicing mindfulness also in a prior coffee chat, where mindfulness is where you're living in the moment. You're feeling the moment, how it is. You're not thinking of past or future experience. You're just enjoying and getting a satisfaction out of the current moment. And that's what mindfulness is about. A whole philosophy on that. Resiliency also, you're a positive thinker, you're optimistic, you're a problem solver. You don't dwell in the negativisms in the past. You also have very strong social relationships. You have good relationships. You have a good husband, a good wife, good close friends, people that when times are tough, you can talk to and kind of let your guard down, and people respond back to you again with that introspective, calm, empathetic feeling that I had mentioned a little bit earlier. They're also spiritually strong. They're generally physically fit. They eat and sleep well. Again, all things we've covered in prior coffee chats. And they're also very good at effectively managing stress. And let me ask the folks here in the coffee chat, when you're stressed out and things are going rough, have you ever considered a stress management class, or how do you manage stress? Put that in the coffee chat. And drinking alcohol and drug use is not an effective way to manage stress. So please don't put that in the chat. All right. But share with us how you might do that. Now, again, resiliency, it's a skill that you work on. And how can you strengthen your resiliency? Well, resilient people, they always look at the glass as always being half full, not half empty. how do you do that? Spend more time around people that you look up to, that you respect, outgoing, confident people. Find yourself a mentor. Actually, we talked about mentoring and actually modeling when we talked about social learning theory and Albert Bandura and how people learn new behaviors. So model people that you look up to. Try to mimic what they do. Here's a great one. I'm a big fan of journaling, but every day write down something that you're grateful for. I'm thankful for my friends here at Phil Long. I'm thankful for a job. I'm thankful that my little puppy dog just came through a pretty drastic surgery. And that makes me feel good. So make time for yourself and generate things that you enjoy right from your own thought process. Look for positive opportunities where you can help. They might even be challenging. I helped a neighbor a couple weeks ago do some stuff with his house, and I'm one that smushes my finger when I use a hammer. I'm not very good at that, but he needed some help, and I had some spare time. And when I got done, I felt good for helping my buddy. Take advantage of opportunities like that. Like I said, express gratitude every day. Be thankful for the things we have. Because I used to work in a hospital, and trust me, it can get worse. So appreciate that which we have, and don't worry about that which we don't have. Try to use positive thinking and not negative Nancy talk when you're getting solutions to problems. Look for the positive. Look for the silver lining. Don't look for the things. Don't look for the barriers and things that slow you down. How can we move forward and be productive with the situation at hand? Create a motivational phrase. I like this one. Maybe when times are tough, create a motivational phrase like "You can do this." Like, "I can do this." Remember the little book called the Little Engine That Could? If you're old enough to remember that book, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Try to express kindness towards other and let it, be it real. You see someone that does something nice, tell them, "Hey, I really liked what you did. That I appreciate your effort in that arena. Thank you very much for doing that." And that will be reciprocated. There's a thing called karma out there, and it'll come back and help you in a positive way. So lots of things that you see, get around strong, like-minded people. There's lots of things that you can see here. Some other ideas, just like I said, write something down. If you see somebody that did something nice, maybe you throw a random act of kindness their way. Let them know that what you saw, that you appreciate what they did. Be able to laugh at yourself too. Sometimes we take ourselves much too seriously. And if you can laugh at yourself, okay, you just did something really out of line. Instead of getting mad or maybe mad at your kids, just kind of laugh and say, "You know what, I've done that myself." Kind of mentioned the accept the invitation already. I mentioned that with my friends. At the end of the day, maybe give yourself 5 minutes to reflect on what you did today. How did you treat other people? What did you say to someone? Did you say something maybe to hurt their feelings, or did you say something to uplift them? Try to look at the positive side and where you can be more positive and outgoing and energetic in the opportunities that you have when you run into other people. And here's a big one. I'm guilty of it, but try and listen to other people and what they're saying and how they're feeling, and then give that empathetic comment back to them. Don't wait for them to take a breath so that you can put in your 2 cents worth. Really listen to others so you can feel how they, how their day went, and then you can give a good positive response to that. And again, I'm a big fan of listening. I need to do a better job at it. Try to monitor your stress, and if you get up there in the 7-8 range and you're stressful, try to identify what's causing me stress. Is it a timeline? Is it somebody I'm working with? Identify that stress, and then try to figure out ways how you can positively affect and influence that stress. Again, turn that distressful environment into a eustressful environment. For example, again, you have a deadline coming up. You might not make it. Why don't you just share with your boss, "Hey, boss, I'm going to be an hour late. I'm going to be a day late with that deadline. Are you okay with that?" So that you can get an affirmation on what you're doing ahead of time. And they'll say, "Yeah, I can get that a day late," instead of you just rushing through it. And then, "Oh, here it is." And you don't have your best effort. You're just meeting that deadline. Again, practice relaxation techniques, whether that's yoga. Find something that you enjoy. If you like playing with your children, if you enjoy reading, please make time to do that. That helps eradicate the stress of the day. It helps with your resiliency. Maybe learning new things, reading a book on new topics can help with your outlook. But at the end of the day, really you want to enjoy the moment. Be mindful, be thankful for what we have, be thankful for the friends you have and the situations that you have. Look forward to new things. Don't let new things scare you, but look forward to them and look for the fun in them. And again, like I said, this is a skill. It's not something easy. So today I just wanted to introduce you to this concept of resiliency. Next week we're going to introduce the I in R.I.G.H.T, which is about interpersonal relationships and the strength and benefits that those can provide. And I'd like to mention one last time, today's the last day of our United Way fundraiser campaign. All right, I got my Live United shirt on. And if you haven't made a donation and you'd like to do that, please get a hold of me, get a hold of your general manager, and we can do that. And, if you can't donate, that's 100% okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that this is a holiday season. Everybody is here to help everyone else. And even when it's a difficult time, you can, again, a random act of kindness, tell somebody that you appreciate what they do and you're thankful for being a friend. And I tell you, little things like that really go a long way. And with that, I'd like to say thank you again. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Looking forward to the holiday season. And again, if there's a difficulty going on there, remember we have our EAP program. If you need someone to talk to, we can get information to you on that. And all in all, folks, let's practice this mindfulness. Let's practice resiliency and make the world a little bit nicer place that we live in. And it really starts with us. So thank you for your time. Let's see what we got in the chat box. We got 9 people chatting. Let's see what we have. Try a new recipe from Janine. Exercise, absolutely. A blessing jar in the kitchen. I'm familiar with blessing jars. Those are great. What else do we have? Exercise, roll with the punches and keep on trucking. Absolutely. A lot of times people say something and we interpret it differently. So again, laugh at yourself. Get back up when you fall down. Amanda, that's a great comment. Again, I like that. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So again, lots of good input. I appreciate everyone. Kimberly's walking on the treadmill, a little stress management technique. Absolutely. So again, really, our life is up to us and how we let it influence our lives, whether it's distress or eustress. It's all how we interpret it. And I like to look at the glass as being half full. Actually, I like the glass being completely full. And that's what I'm striving for. So thanks again for your input. Next week, I'm looking forward to the coffee chat. And y'all have a great 7 days, and I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.